Welcome back everyone to Lammas Creations DIY. My name is Tammy. Today I'm participating in Tiff from Broke Girls Aesthetics Funtime Friday Challenge. Basically, you create anything that is fun, and Fridays are always fun. Let's start crafting. So for this first part, what I'm showing you is I received some more goodies from Pandahall. They're called Pandahall Elite. I got this mixture of beads, all different colors, and I thought I could always use beads. We always need beads, right? And these ones are pre-colored for me, so I really like that idea. And it's Pandahall Elite. And then this thing that I picked out, at the moment when I was choosing what I wanted, I had an idea of what I wanted to do with these, but now I can't remember. So now I got to think of something else. But it's felt. It's like a black velvety felt stuff, and it's sticky on the other side. So now I got to think of what I can make with these. Do you guys have any ideas? Let me know down in the description box. No, in the comment box if you have any ideas of what I can make with this. I could sure use some help. Now on with the crafts. For this first craft, I'm using this small 1.5 inch clay pot. It was already painted white, but you don't have to have it painted white. And then I'm using a foam heart, and I'm going to stick it right in the middle. And then using some pink acrylic paint, I'm going to paint the entire pot. I believe I give it about 2 coats. Then we're going to take that foam heart off, and it's going to leave you a nice white heart in the middle. Taking my E6000 and some hot glue. Yes, I need more E6000. This one I'm squeezing the bejeebies out of it. Some hot glue in the spots where there's no E6000. And I found this little votive holder, this clear votive holder, and we're going to glue that right on top. Now, taking some jute rope, I'm going to wrap it in between the votive holder and the clay pot about 3 or 4 times. Tie it in a knot in the middle. And then with the same jute rope, I'm going to make a finger bolt. I just wrap it around my fingers twice, cut it off of course. Then I slip that piece in between my 2 fingers. I needed help to get it in there. Bring it around, and then I wrap it underneath the part that I just slipped through my fingers. Tighten it, and you got yourself a cute little bow. And then you just fix it. Trim off the ends, and I glue it. First I cut off those ties, and I glue it right there in the middle. And with that, it's done. Second craft. I found this little birdhouse in my stash, and I thought it was perfect for Valentine's Day. It has a heart on it. So I mixed some brown paint and some water together, and what I'm going to do is I'll paint on the mixture and then wipe it off with a cloth, leaving it look like a stain. And I do this to the entire little birdhouse. If you haven't noticed, we're making mini creations for either a tiered tray, or you can stick it on a shelf. They're good for filler spots when decorating. Now, taking some pink acrylic paint, I paint along the under edge of the roof line. I paint inside that heart, the little perch, and then I paint pink along the bottom. And then I was looking at it and thought, yeah, and I decided there's a ring around the top there that you see me painting on. I painted that pink as well. And I gave that ring about 2 coats, the rest only 1. Taking my pink paint marker, I'm going to outline the outside of the heart just to give it a little more something. Now I'm taking some nylon rope. I'm going to wrap it around my hand. I don't know how many times. I just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped until I was satisfied of how much was there. You can do as lot, you can do as little. And then taking pieces of ribbon that are pink checked and some that are brown, I'm going to stick those in my hand as well, holding it all with my thumb. And then I'm going to take that nylon rope again, slip it underneath all those strings on my hand, pull it to the top, and tie it in a double knot. Clipping it off. And then I add a little bit of hot glue to the ends, just so that they don't fray. And then the other one, I kind of stick to the other one, to the longer piece. Now taking 3 beads, I'm going to string on the 3 beads. And then, bringing back that little birdhouse, we're going to tie it as close as you can get to that last bead as you possibly can. And your cute little tassel on the birdhouse. After that is that, this project is complete. Oh, sorry, no. It is complete after you do the tassel. First you got to tie off the tassel at the top. I go about a 1/2 inch down. And then you got to open all those loops with your scissors and then give it a cute haircut. And when that's done, this project is complete. I have, I think it's an 18mm bead. I'm going to paint it brown and then put it aside to dry. I just have it on a pipe cleaner. And then I found these styrofoam cones in my stash. If you've seen the size there, it's 6.5 inches, I believe. And I'm going to cut it down because I didn't want it this big. So just using a knife, I'm going to cut it in half and we're going to use the pointy part. Now, taking some old boxer shorts that were my husband's with some cute hearts on them, I'm going to cut off a piece. I believe it's about 3 inches by, I'll say about 6. It's a little bigger than what I needed. And we're going to glue it all along the bottom of this little cone, right on the edge. And I just use hot glue. I was asked in a comment what that little pink thing is on my finger. It's to protect my finger when I'm using hot glue so that I don't get burned. Then I trim off the extra and then I add more hot glue around the edges to hold it into place. Now taking another piece, making sure that it's going to fit around the top. I'm just going to add some glue to one end all the way up and then roll it into a tube. Now we're going to put that aside because we need this first. Going back to the bead, I'm going to draw on a little tiny heart and then paint it in pink. And this is going to be our little gnome's nose. Taking his nose, adding a little bit of hot glue. We're going to glue it to his body. And then we're going to put his hat on and tack it into place on either side of his nose to hold it there, and then a little glue on the back as well. His nose is a little bit big. He does get a little nose heavy. He'll fall over because of his nose, but I like it. It's cute. Big old nose on him. Now, scrunching up the end of his hat, I'm going to take some more nylon rope and tie it in a double knot with a little bit of hot glue in between. Trim off the extra. And then I glue the end of his hat down to the side. I also forgot to record because I didn't realize I wasn't recording. I glued on a little beard and a little red heart. And with that, this project is complete as well. Next craft. I picked out these beads out of my stash. What I'm going to do is taking this burnt umber acrylic paint. I'm going to add a little bit in the bottom of the bowl. With a paintbrush, I'm going to swoosh it around. Then I'm going to add my beads, add some water, and then mix it all up. My bowl should have been bigger, but because after that you could actually dry it right in the bowl, but instead I poured it out into a box and let them dry that way. Now, taking a little wooden heart, I cut a hole in the middle so I could hang it, and I'm going to paint it with the same burnt umber paint on both sides, but I'm also going to rub it off so it looks more like a stain. So I'm going to paint it on, take a cloth, and then rub it off, and it's nice because you see the grain through it still. Taking my pink acrylic marker, I'm going to do little squiggles and dots, and then where that hole is, I put a little heart on one side just to hide it a little bit, and on the other side I wrote XOXO using the little hole as an O. Now taking some nylon rope again, a little glue on the end so it's easier to string. I'm going to take one of the stained ones that we did, a light pink and a dark pink, and I continue this all the way until I feel that it's long enough. And you can do as many as you want. or as little as you want, and it doesn't matter the colors you use. I tie the heart onto one end, making sure that the knot is at the top. And then I squeeze 3 or 4, I don't know, maybe more, of the beads down. I add a little glue to the first one to hold it there. And then I add a little glue in between the last one and the third one to hold that in place. Cutting off a little bit at the end. And I'm going to, I found this yarn at Dollarama. It was in their Easter section and I liked the pink for this. We're going to make another tassel. Wrapping that around my hand and then using some more nylon rope, wrapping that around my hand, cutting it off, taking the end of our beaded tassel, stringing it through, tying it off at the top as close as you can to get to those beads. Excuse me. Putting a little bit of hot glue in between my knots so it stays in place. Then taking another piece of yarn, I'm going to wrap it around. I go down about 1/2 inch, tie it off there, and then I cut off any extra, cut all the loops open, and give it a haircut. And you got a cute Valentine's beaded garland. I went in my stash of bedazzled, totally dazzled gems, found this cute little pink flower, and that's going to go right onto the side of the heart. This came out of a game for kids. It was all wood pieces. What I'm going to do first is give each and one of them a good sanding. Then, after they're all done, sanded and cleaned off, I'm going to paint 2 pink. All the sides and the top. I'm not worried about the bottom. And then the other one I'm going to pink brown, but just all the sides. Taking some white chalk paint, I'm going to run it along 3 of the sides. 2 of the small ones and 1 of the long one. And I do that to all 3 pieces. Making a little book stack, so this is to represent the pages of the book. Now, taking some hot glue, I'm going to glue the brown one onto the pink one, and then the last pink one onto the brown one, making sure the painted sides are up. And then using a pencil, I'm going to write in my words. We've got love on the first book, potions on the second book, and then I do 4 hearts on the last book. Taking various paint markers, we're going to trace over our words so they pop out a little bit better. Now taking the same yarn and this ribbon, I'm going to cut little pieces. Using some jute rope, I slit it out so I can do it on top, and we're just going to make a little tiny fussy bow, messy bow. Taking the jute rope, tying it in the middle of the bow, couple knots, and then I take that same jute rope, wrap it around twice, I believe, and then I glue off the ends, cutting off any extra that I don't need. And with that, this project is done. Up comes the reveal. I don't decorate much for Valentine's Day, but I like to do a few little things here and there. And I think a tiered tray or little items like this is perfect. I would like to thank Tiff from Broke Girls Aesthetic for hosting this challenge. I always have a lot of fun coming into them and doing stuff like this because it's fun, especially for a Friday. I would also like to thank everybody for watching. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back and returning. If you're new, welcome. We sure love having you here. Please like this video, subscribe, and don't forget that bell. All of that is free and sure does help me out in the YouTube world. I hope everybody has a wonderful Friday and a weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.